some people, want me to talk, or they want to listen to guys talk about the pros and not about the cons, or they want people, or these other big bodybuilders, they talk about the pros and they water down the cons. We're not doing that. I give you guys 100% the pros in a nutshell. I'm going to give you 100% the cons in a nutshell. And if you don't want to hear it, I'd consider, just don't even watch this video, just throw it out. Yeah, what's going on, guys? This is Spartan here, nutrition training hormone expert and Prometheus Pro bodybuilder. Guys, today we're going to be talking about 2,000 milligrams per week of testosterone for 1 whole year. Guys, today, the reason we're talking about this in the first place, we're going hardcore. We're talking about stuff nobody else is talking about. The reason we're talking about this in the first place is because 2,000 milligrams per week of testosterone is a very, very super common professional bodybuilder either staple in a cycle with other things added onto it, or a very common base cycle. And 2,000 milligrams per week for 1 year. Some bodybuilders exceed this and do this for many years, but 2,000 milligrams at a minimum is a very common staple for that cycle. Having said that, guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat any of the cons. We're going to talk about all of the cons, and also, guys, we're going to talk about all of the pros, no holds barred. I'm not going to sugarcoat it one way or another. I'm going to give it to you guys straight, like you've never heard it before. And be advised, guys, some of this stuff might be a shock to you, but again, we're just going to go through all of this, and with no agenda, right or left. We're going to give you a non-biased, neutral approach to what the facts are. So, guys, let's break this down. 2,000 milligrams of testosterone per week for 1 year. Super common, pro bodybuilder, staple or cycle, whatever you want to call it. Let's go. So, guys, number one, going in the pros. And make sure you guys watch this video all the way to the end, because we're going to go through all the cons, all the serious cons, stuff that pros don't want to talk about, stuff that no one wants to talk about. And guys, this is not something that's not, close to me. Close to my heart, close to my vest. I know people, who 2,000 milligrams per week for not 1 year, but, we're talking years, plural. So this is not something that, does not happen. And I know some of the more advanced bodybuilders are going to be watching this video and thinking, well, I know people that are doing 3,000 milligrams or even higher for extended periods of time. We're talking years. So guys, let's get into it. So number one, guys, the pros of this. No sugarcoat, no bias. The pros. Number one, massive. You are going to have massive muscle gains, massive muscle maturity from the testosterone, from the DHT, that's dihydrotestosterone. You're going to have massive muscle gains, tons of AR receptor-mediated growth. You're going to have tons of hypertrophy. You're also at these dosages or higher, like I said, 2,000 milligrams is actually being a little bit lower, or a little bit more lenient with doses, like I talked about with pros. But at 2,000 milligrams or higher per week, you're going to have massive gains. You're also going to have some hyperplasia just from the increase in IGF and all of the localized IGF and mechano growth factors that are being released intramuscularly. So, number one pro, guys, right off the bat, massive muscle gains. Tons of hypertrophy. You're going to get massive. There's no way about it. You're going to completely change your physique. So, it's not even, that's throwing it up there. That's huge. Number two, guys, you're going to have a huge boost all across the board in vascularity. You're going to be extremely vascular. Your veins are going to be ripping out of your skin. We're talking, obviously, your arms, even your chest if you're leaner. Your legs are going to be huge, considering you're training legs hard. You're going to have huge increases in nitrogen retention, and that's going to aid the vascularity as well, because the veins, the capillaries are going to have to enlarge to feed the greater muscle dense tissue, which is requiring more nutrients. Guys, moving forward, and also you're going to have a red blood cell count increase, but even after you give blood and you lower your red blood cell count down, you're still going to have those veins and those capillaries. Everything's going to be expanded. Guys, moving on, strength gains. This is beyond, this could be number one. This is beyond just, you know, rocket out of this world. At 2,000 milligrams per week of testosterone for 1 year or more, you're going to have insane wicked strength gains. And the thing is, guys, 2,000 milligrams for powerlifters, for elite powerlifters, 2,000 milligrams per week is like a base. Okay, I mean, doses go way higher for elite powerlifters, world level powerlifters. Anyways, guys, moving on. Like I said, the strength gains, you're going to have nervous system gains, just because your central nervous system is going to be able to create more electrical discharge, you're going to be able to fire harder. And that we see guys mainly do not because of the testosterone as the main driver, but because of the DHT, the dihydrotestosterone, and its effects on the central nervous system. This is also going to cause a huge boost in drive and energy, also contributing to massive strength gains. Guys, number 4 of the pros, you're going to have a Superman feeling, okay? You might as well put a cape on, but that is the feeling you're going to get. You're going to be euphoric. You're going to have the Superman feeling. You're going to feel invincible, you know, walking around the gym, big lat syndrome, etc. You're going to feel great. You're going to have tons of energy. You're going to feel unstoppable, really. But that feeling is not only short-lived in terms of only while you're on, and once your body gets stressed out, your nervous system gets stressed out and overstimulated, which overstimulation of the nervous system does happen over time with long cycles, especially androgen-heavy cycles, then you'll start to feel worse. But that's later on, and when that happens is different for everybody. But having said that, guys, that Superman feeling is kind of misleading, and honestly, it's covering up a lot of the negatives that are happening. So guys, without any further ado, we're going to get into the negatives, no holds barred. I gave you the pros. Again, no holds bars, not sugarcoating it one way or the other. These are the pros, and exactly as I said, that's how it is, okay? And the pros are there, okay? The testosterone, 2,000 milligrams a week, is going to do this. But let's now talk about let's talk about the cons, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat this either for you guys. That, you know, some people, you know, want me to talk, or they want to listen to guys talk about the pros and not about the cons. Or they want people, or these other big bodybuilders, they talk about the pros and they water down the cons. We're not doing that. I gave you guys 100% the pros in a nutshell. I'm going to give you 100% the cons in a nutshell. And if you don't want to hear it, I'd consider, you know, just don't even watch this video, just throw it out. So anyways, guys, let's talk about the cons, no holds barred. So cons number 1, guys, telling you guys how it is. Coronary artery plaque buildup. Now, guys, one thing testosterone, I'm going to do a video on this, but one thing testosterone and cigarettes have in common is the same exact thing. Guys, once you go over about 250 milligrams per week, or on a total testosterone chart, once you go over, you know, 1,400, 1,500, you know, once the higher you go, and it's like this, you know, it's going up, it's going up. The higher you go over that limit, okay, and that's the top of the limit, a little over the top of the limit, but the higher you go from 250 milligrams a week, you know, or 1,500 on a total T scale, the faster you're going to be causing and creating coronary artery plaque buildup. Now, guys, there's things you can do, like taking your omega-3s, you know, eating a cleaner diet, taking HCG, to basically stimulate the testicles to pull the cholesterol out of the bloodstream. We're talking about the LDL, the damaging cholesterol. But there's things you can do to minimize this. But the bottom line, guys, is, and I know you guys don't want to hear this, no one wants to hear this. You know, if I'm talking to pros or competitive bodybuilders, they don't want to hear this. But the bottom line, guys, is that this is going to happen. Anytime you go over 250 milligrams, you know, or 1,500 total T levels, you're going to have an increase in coronary artery plaque buildup, and it's dose dependent. The more you take, the faster you're going to have coronary artery plaque buildup. And guys, in that way, testosterone does the same exact thing as cigarettes, okay? Cigarettes cause coronary artery plaque buildup, you know, the atherosclerosis, also the hardening of the arteries. In the same way, you know, high doses of testosterone with, again, the more you take, the more you're going to cause this. So, you know, people that smoke, you know, for 30 years, they're doing that damage. And if you're taking testosterone, depending on what dose, again, over that threshold for long periods of time, you're going to cause this. And now, it's amazing in the male body. The male body is built tough. You know, it's built tough. You know, created in the image of God, and you know, we're built as warriors. But the thing is, guys, is that the male body is not designed to have 2,000 milligrams per week, which comes out to about 10 times what you would normally have as a healthy 18-year-old. Your body's not meant to have 10 times what you'd normally have as an 18-year-old for years, okay? It's just, the body cannot take that, and there's gonna be, even though you might feel great, you might have a Superman feeling, you're gonna have crazy strength gains, you're gonna be vascular, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, again, like we talked about, you're gonna have massive muscle mass gains through all the mechanisms I talked about, you know, nitrogen retention, AR receptor mediated growth, hypertrophy, hyperplasia. The thing is that at that dosage, the rest of your body that is not designed, that cannot keep up, or the weaker link in the chain, you're gonna have issues. Okay, guys, that's just the way it is. So coronary artery plaque buildup, this is proven. There's nothing to debate here. You know, if they in some of the huge studies they did, you can look up coronary artery plaque buildup. You know, anabolic steroids. Type that into Google. They've done studies where they've taken large groups of people who were, you know, same age of people, weight trained, not weight trained, and they separated people that used anabolic steroids and people that didn't. The people that were using anabolics, again, causes damage to the arteries over time. Obviously dose dependent, how long, but it causes plaque buildup. So same way with cigarettes, it's not an immediate thing, but the higher you go, the longer. Guys, it's just the way it is. You're gonna be causing plaque buildup. So moving on, guys, number 2, this is the worst one, by the way. Number 2, enlarged heart wall. Now the thing is, guys, is that if you're an athlete, let's say you're a hard training athlete, you're completely natural, you're gonna have an enlarged heart, okay? That's just the way it is. We call it an athlete's heart. You're gonna have an enlarged left ventricle. That's just the way it is, all right? So that left side will enlarge, but the thing is that when you're done with sports, it's gonna go back to normal. It's not a big deal. Think about it like a balloon blowing up to meet the increased needs for oxygenated blood around the body. But once those needs, once you drop off with your training, it goes back to normal. There's no long COVID morbidity, okay? But the problem, guys, we're not talking about an enlarged heart. We're talking about enlarged heart wall, referring to the thickness. So what's gonna happen, guys, your heart is, let's just take a healthy 18-year-old hard training male, okay? He's an athletic, hard training male, okay? The thing is, your heart is kind of like a balloon, okay? It's gonna be pumping the blood in and out, in and out, in and out. Let's say, you know, you get some, none of these, but let's say you get some of a little bit of an athlete's heart or an enlarged heart. It's gonna get a little bit bigger. So the balloon basically gets bigger to fit the needs. But what's happening is with, you know, you're using 2,000 milligrams per week for 1 year or longer, what's gonna happen is, instead of getting bigger, the wall, the actual wall of the heart tissue is gonna be getting thicker. Now this causes a problem because the thicker wall is changing the dynamic structure of the heart, thereby doing what? Affecting how effective the heart is at pumping that blood out. So each pump is getting less effective. So the problem is that, you know, with an enlarged heart wall, for people, you know, again, that don't speak medical, it's a thicker heart wall, and it's going to be, instead of that balloon, that elastic balloon, you're making your heart be able to pump out less blood each beat. Now, you're still going to have an extremely strong heart, and most of this goes away after you discontinue, use of high use of testosterone or anabolic steroids. But the problem is that you're still going to have some of that thickness remaining, and this is medically backed. Please look this stuff up, guys. And that's these two are pretty much it for the cons. So, you know, we're keeping this video real. I'm not talking about stupid things like estrogen. A lot of guys can take any amount of testosterone and not have estrogen problems. Some people will get gyno. That's not a big deal. We're not talking about hair loss. We're not talking about, anxiety. Some people, they can take as much testosterone and have problems. But the thing, guys, testosterone is safe compared to, almost anything in the world. But the problem is we're talking about the real stuff. The real stuff that, real effects are coronary artery plaque buildup and a large heart wall, referring to the thickness. So, guys, that's pretty much it. That's the gist. Now, having said that, guys, in the countries, now this is assuming, all of this is assuming that either one, you're getting 100% pharmaceutical prescription grade testosterone, or you live in a country where testosterone is legal or anabolics are legal, and you're getting 100% stuff like the UK or Britain or UK, Germany, these other places where you can walk into the pharmacy, walk out, UAE, other places like this. But the thing, guys, is that if you're getting either veterinary grade or stuff from the black market, the problem with that is that even if it's 100% real, the problem, guys, and nobody talks about this either, is that it's going to contain heavy metals. Why? Because it's not made in a human, it's not made under strict USP regulation, depending on whatever country. They're not doing that final pass, an expensive pass, to take out the heavy metals, which means that there's going to be garbage in it. Now, you're not going to notice this right away, but over time, taking stuff that has heavy metals is going to cause damage, and it's going to be a carcinogen, and you don't want heavy metals. These are toxins, okay? So the thing is that this is going to be a long-term thing if you're getting anything veterinary or, black market. If you live in a country where testosterone's legal and you're taking 2,000, milligrams, you're walking into the store getting it over the counter, again, you're still dealing with these major issues. If you're not, then you're dealing with all three of these issues. Guys, that's pretty much it. We're doing a video again. This is more hardcore than we normally do, in terms of just being brutally, blatantly, honest with you guys and talking about, real stuff. This is 2,000 milligrams per week for 1 year is probably more on the mild side for professional bodybuilding or hardcore competitors. So and again, you get the benefits. Yeah, you get the benefits, but you get these problems too. It's just like smoking cigarettes. So short term, not a big deal, most of the time, but long term, just like smoking cigarettes is going to be doing things to your heart, pushing this is going to be doing things to your heart as well. In terms of artery and enlarged heart wall. So guys, this is it, and keep submitting your questions either at Spartan Empire or on the channel. We'll be getting to them. But guys, keep the questions coming. This is Seth Spartan. We are out of here.